Instead of saying, we help customers with their marketing, say, get your product in the minds of your customers.
How do you differentiate English and marketing English?
If you're driving a nice car, you don't give the keys to anybody. You got to give the keys to the person who understands how to drive the car.
So do you think paid ads and versus organic growth, organic marketing, which one do you think is better?
So there's always a question of, should we save a bunch of money and hire freelancers, as this is coming from clients, or should the client hire a marketing agency?
Hi everyone, my name is Vanessa. I'm a project manager from Modular, and today we're interviewing our founder, Michael, and also my co-host, Jean.
Hi.
We're both project managers in Modular. So how does it feel, Michael, to be in the hot seat today?
Pretty strange.
Pretty strange.
It's fun.
Michael here founded our agency, Modular, and Michael has worked with a lot of big companies such as Acer, Meta, Microsoft, BenQ. And what did you do with them?
Yeah, so I started the company about a year and a half ago. And since then, we've been doing photography, videography, SEO content, graphic design, and mostly for the top tech companies, B2B tech and B2C tech.
So you were just a one-man company when you first started?
Yeah, when I started, I was a freelancer and I was mostly writing blog articles. I was a writer.
Oh, you were like a copywriter. And what made you want to start Modular?
Well, I think the foundation of all marketing starts with writing. And I think once you write down the message, and especially I have a background in PR, corporate PR. And so the job of a PR writer is to figure out what is the message, what is the story about this product that we want to share to the world. And so once you write down the story, it's like the script. And then the script can then be turned into anything, a movie, a photo shoot, a graphic. And so the natural evolution of a writer is working with tech companies is then to help them out with their video production, their photo production. Because once you establish that vision through the writing, through the press release, through the copywriting, then you can scale it up and, through all different formats.
So what you're saying is that writing is kind of like the backbone of marketing, and with the writing, the copywriting, you can do so much more, such as videos, photos, graphic design.
Repurposing the content and writing the backbone.
Yeah, writing is kind of like the skeleton, like the foundation. Because through the writing, through the words, you have to figure out the positioning of the product. And because if you just throw a product out there into the market and you don't define the positioning, is this a luxury product? Is this something that's cheap, that is for everybody? Then there's no way to take it next to e-commerce or to the CES in Las Vegas or Computex. And so I think through the writing, we're telling the story of the product and we're connecting it to the brand story. And then naturally, there are multiple mediums that come after that, video, photo, that, as you know, we work on.
So can you share with the audience a few of the projects that we've done for the past year?
So one of the things we keep busy with the most are lifestyle photo shoots and product photo shoots. And, we do photo shoots for all kinds of, I guess in Taiwan, I call them 3C products or consumer electronics. And we start with the product photography in the studio. Then we take it to the lifestyle photography where we hire a model and we kind of figure out the whole positioning and the story. And then we prepare the content for Amazon, for website, the written content, package it all together, send it off to the client. So this is kind of our main, I guess, bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as you know, we do graphic design, sales brochures, and month by month, we have retainer SEO clients who want to have web traffic to their websites.
Right, like LinkedIn posts, copywriting, articles, things like that. Yeah. So there's this thing that you always tell us while we're working. It's to package the stuff in a high quality way, premium way. Are there any tips, or is that a secret, to how to package a tech product premiumly?
Yeah, because a lot of products that we took pictures, they're just a mouse, a plastic mouse, or just a keyboard, a normal keyboard, a black keyboard. And how do we, I mean, we all know what we're doing, but maybe you can tell the audience how you package everything to look more premium.
Well, I think because it's just a keyboard, right? It's made in China. It probably cost almost nothing to manufacture. But for somebody who bought that keyboard and uses it, it's everything. That keyboard is a tool. It's like a sword that is going to kill a dragon. You know, somebody might use that keyboard to write an incredible proposal. Somebody might use that keyboard to chat and get new clients. And so I think that marketing is all about positioning some product as to what it can help someone achieve, how it can help someone be great. And I think one of the things that we need to focus on is not only features and benefits during our marketing writing, but it's also like, what is the potential that a human can achieve using this keyboard or mouse or monitor? And you know, these are tools we use every single day, so they're actually highly valuable things. Although they may look kind of cheap sometimes, or they come from a factory, but we can always attach some bigger meaning.
So it's kind of like storytelling. You attach a story of the future they could have with this product.
Yeah, because I think every customer starts out as somebody who wants to get to a certain place, a promised land. And the product is the bridge to the promised land. And so I think it's our jobs to communicate the promised land. Like, what is the end result? Like, what are we trying to actually do here? But when you spend this money, and sometimes our clients, they're so kind of immersed in their own corporate world and in their own offices, that it's hard for them to see the bigger picture. And as you know, we even hire marketing agencies to help us out because we have the same problem. And so I think our value is in helping the clients kind of see the full potential of their own products.
Right. Like in Chinese, it's like 第三者角度. You kind of step out of who you are and you look at yourself from a different lens to see like what your problem is or what you need to do to get more revenue, grow your business.
Yeah.
Right. So like a lot of people, they don't really want to spend money on marketing. They feel like maybe it'll be a loss of money. There's not going to be revenue. And what's your viewpoint on that?
Well, the truth is, marketing can be pricey. It can be an expensive investment because, as you know, photo production is not cheap. Video production, there's so many moving parts. And there's absolutely zero guarantee that marketing will actually bring back your return on investment. So this is something that all marketing people know, and marketing agencies, we also know. So the one guarantee there is, though, is if you do nothing, you will get nothing, right? If you don't invest in marketing, you can only sell this product to your grandparents or to your friends. So I think there has to be a clear understanding of what are the deliverables, what is the expected outcome. I think there's a responsibility on the client side to understand who are the target audiences and what is the production or the things that this target audience wants to see. And then there's that kind of confidence that if they spend this money, they're going to get a return on investment.
How would you say the process of working with us for if perhaps a new company wants to approach us?
Okay, so the process goes a little bit like we sit down and have a discovery session. We try to understand what are your goals for this year or for this quarter. We want to understand what has not worked with you before. And so maybe there's a reason you're reaching out to us because something didn't work previously. Or maybe you want to scale up your marketing, and so you just need a team to help you do that. So once we understand your goals, then we start doing the market research and we come up with a plan. We get clients to sign off on that plan. We go into pre-production, and then we set up a weekly meeting with the client to make sure everything, we're all on the same page. Then, as you know, we go into production mode, which is where we all go crazy and work late. And it's actually the most stressful, but the most fun part for me is the production days, right?
Yeah, because we get out from the office and just have another different day.
Yeah. Sometimes we travel and we find amazing, cool studios to shoot at, or we come to Bali and we produce here. And then there's a long QC process. A quality control is super important. And so I think one of the main value adds that we provide is we do the quality control very meticulously, very carefully. And a lot of times, we might even redo an entire photo shoot. Hope we don't have to do that again, but it's happened. But I think, yeah, this is a process, and we hope to keep the clients in the loop during the whole time. And a lot of times clients like to show up on set. They like to see, they like to help direct the video shoot, the photo shoot. And that's fine. We're happy to have the clients around, and they have very specific requirements. And so it's good that they're there.
Yeah, so about the quality control, I think as project managers, Nessa and I do understand how much of high quality products and service that we want to give to the clients. And as project manager, and you as our founder, our boss / QC head, there are many internal revisions that we do before we have a finished product or design brochure.
Or finished draft.
Right, like drafts after drafts. And I think that's also kind of how Modular does really good quality work. It's by our internal revisions first before we send to the client.
Yeah, I think that the quality control part, whenever we work with an artist, a freelancer, a digital content creator, generally the expectation is they'll bring it up to 80%. And then our job is to fill in that 20% that's missing. And then when we pass it off to the client, generally where the client gets it at about 90%. And so the client then has to fill in their 10%. And so without our job to do that, if clients work directly with an artist, then they have to fill up like 50 or 60% of the job. So there's always a question of, should we save a bunch of money and hire freelancers, as this is coming from clients, or should the client hire a marketing agency? And I think the value we provide is we help them save time by delivering something that's almost finished. Sometimes we deliver a 100% job, and that's always fun. But when clients work with freelancers, they're basically getting something that's halfway done.
Yeah, so they have to go through the revisions and QC process themselves. And
a lot of, actually, I think revisions takes a lot of time.
It does take a lot of time. It's very tiring.
It's very tiring.
It makes me very stressed. But yeah, it's very important. And another question that I think I really want to ask, because I'm half new to Modular, and this is the first agency that I've found in Taiwan that is bilingual. Well, mainly English speaking, but bilingual because of me. But we have Nessa's from Indonesia. You're from Puerto Rico / American. I'm Taiwanese. We also have Taiwanese and Japanese people in our company. So what made you want to start like a bilingual agency in Taiwan?
Well, I think the benefit of having all of these international people here is we have fresh perspective from all your countries. I mean, for example, Indonesia and Bali has like thousands of years of craftsmanship and artistic creations here. This is an entire island full of artists. And so when we work with Indonesian people, we have access to this, this beautiful place, and our clients are then getting work done by this craftsman in Bali. You are bilingual, so it means I can throw you in a room full of non-English speaking clients in Taiwan, and you can talk to all of them. And then the next day we can go talk to our clients from France or Germany or US. So I think it's very good to have this language ability from you guys. You guys the Indonesian team needs to improve their Chinese though.
I'm improving my Chinese every single day.
加油. Yeah, language ability is very important. And I think it's also a really good skill for us to have if we want to help Taiwanese like tech companies go international, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is our number one differentiator from other marketing agencies in Taiwan is that we focus on helping our Taiwanese clients, tech clients, go global and prepare their products for CES or some of the like European exhibitions. And so we really need that good English, and not only good English speaking, but that marketing English. And for me, it's just fun to work with a diverse group of people. I mean, I want to have fun at work. I don't want to just go to an office and everyone looks the same and acts the same and dresses the same. And so I think this is an intentional way to make it fun. And in the end, the clients benefit more than anyone, I think.
Since you're a writer, I want to ask, how do you differentiate English and marketing English?
The difference between English and marketing English. So this is a big topic because a lot of people who call themselves writers, they cannot sell anything through their writing. They can just, write about their day or write a story. I think a marketing writer has to understand how to like get somebody fired up about this product or this service. And then that goes back to this idea of what is the potential that you can get, through this product. And this is a very specific kind of writing that I've spent many years trying to perfect. Back when I was at Acer, I had to write a lot of press releases for their products, and they released tons of products, and then they delivered them into a big press conference overseas. And so I had to think about what is like the hook of this product. I mean, on paper, it looks just like a keyboard. It looks just like a laptop. But actually, when you dig a little bit deeper, you can see that this thing can actually help supercharge your productivity, or it can help you create something beautiful. And so I think that to be a marketing writer is to be able to figure out those, tell those stories about each product.
So we go back to storytelling again.
Right. So
I feel like every talk that we have, they always bring us back to storytelling, and that's like the best way of marketing,
Yeah, I think you have to figure out how to tell good stories because that's how the human brain works, is through telling stories. Thousands of years ago, we'd sit around the fire and there was no TV, there was no Instagram when we were living in caves, but there would be like the chief would start to tell a story about somebody, the hunt, how was the hunt? And that's ingrained in our brains. And I think we cannot forget about the story behind every single piece of marketing. And I think, smart marketing managers, they know that, but it's not easy to tell a good story because there's a whole process before the storytelling that you have to go through, the research and the positioning and the brand guidelines. How does it connect to your brand? And so, yeah.
So you talk about storytelling. What do you define as a good story?
I think a good story follows a narrative arc. Basically, a good story has a hero. A lot of times brands confuse a hero as themselves, so they might say something like, Nike is one of the best companies in the world at this, but one of the reasons they succeed is because they make sure that the hero of the story is the customer, not the brand. So here's a tip for you if you're writing a landing page, if you're writing anything. Instead of saying, we help customers with their marketing, say, get your product in the minds of your customers. So now you are the person who's in the story. It's not about us. So sometimes when we work with writers and they use the word, we do this and we do that, I then delete all of that and I write, you can get this and you can do that.
That's a great tip.
Yeah, so I think whenever you're telling a story, use the word you instead of we.
Yeah, like for example, Nike's slogan, you can do it. Just do it. What is you can do it? I'm sorry. But I remember watching like a video about Nike and how they came up with like the slogan, just do it. And it was the founder, what's his name?
Phil Knight.
He was in an auditorium and he asked people like who runs every morning, and like half rose their hand. And then he asked like who runs every morning if it's raining, and like half of them, like only half of the half. And then he kept asking, well, it got harder and harder. And then he like applauded like the last person. It was like one or two people left. And he said that is what Nike wants. Like Nike will be with you while you run in the morning, while you run while it's raining, while you run even if you're tired. And that is because the customer is the hero of Nike's story. And that's what we want to do as well.
Yeah, that's a famous story about Phil Knight. Yeah, so Nike's slogan, "Just Do It," is a great slogan because it puts the customer as a hero of the story. And everybody wants to be the hero in their own story. And it's kind of like, well, the Nike shoes are the sword that the hero needs to kill the dragon, right?
Yeah.
And so definitely if you're watching this and you're marketing your product, remember this and don't think that you are the hero, because that there's no connection anymore if you do it that way.
Right.
So it's how you can tell people that by using your product, you become a hero.
Yeah. And then the product, so there's a natural storytelling structure that has never changed, and the greatest movies all follow the same structure, where there's a hero and the hero has a problem or they need to go somewhere, and then they encounter hardship, then they meet a guide. The guide will help them to achieve their goal, and in the end there's a new reality or a new world. And so the product is always the guide, and then the hero is always the customer. And then so to the framework that I use for copywriting, which is then the framework that we use for all production, is position the customer as a hero who then meets the guide, which is the product. And then with the product, they find the promised land. So that's kind of some pretty deep stuff, but I think the marketing geeks will understand.
Like the marketing geeks. So a lot of people, like, for example, me, I own an e-commerce store. And if you put money into marketing, sometimes it doesn't flow back to you instantly or like on the next day. And they don't have patience for that. So what would you say to them?
I think you definitely need to be smart about how you invest in marketing. Some of our clients spend, millions of NT with us every year. And so there has to be somebody on the other end of that who's guiding that project to make sure that it's effective. So it's just about, if you're driving a nice car, you don't give the keys to anybody. You got to give the keys to the person who understands how to drive the car. And so a marketing manager who understands their target audience can then spend, 10 million NT over 1 year and turn that 10 million into 100 million NT or more. And so I think as long as you're not doing, if you're not doing any marketing, you're not going to get any results. But invest some money in marketing and invest wisely. Make sure that there's certain deliverables that are supposed to achieve certain results, and understand that. And, a lot of times clients are not 100% sure of how marketing needs to work for them. And then that's something they can also talk to us, and we can guide them in the right direction.
So you talked about like setting goals, having deliverables, seeing if you can reach your goals. Do you have a time frame for that? Like a suggestion of how long should clients kind of give us or give themselves to see their goal, to reach it?
One thing, like I remember when we had our first client, our first client was a Taiwanese manufacturer who wanted to invest a lot into SEO articles. And they invested in 12 articles per month. And so we got to writing and we started publishing the articles. And the owner of the company kind of just was very hands-off about it. And he was busy, he was traveling. And then we worked with a marketing girl, and she was basically overseeing the whole production of the articles. And I remember it wasn't until about 9 months later that they started to get multiple inquiries per day, business inquiries per day, from some of the biggest companies in the world who were contacting this company and saying, we want to be a distributor in our country. And then there were inquiries from Europe, from South America, from Canada, US. And so it was pretty quiet for 9 months. And then 9 months later, it was like a waterfall of business inquiries that came. And so I always appreciate that first client because at that time we had nothing to show for. It was only kind of a trust relationship. Um, but clients who are willing to put in the time, 6 months to a year, there's definitely a interesting graph that looks sort of like this, where it's quiet, quiet, and then the graph just goes up like that, and then it's a waterfall of business inquiries or sales. And that's from organic marketing. So obviously, if you want to spend money on ads, then the graph is more like this, where it's very fast, and then it peters out because your ad is no longer effective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think paid ads and versus organic growth, organic marketing, which one do you think is better?
If you're in it for the long game, like if you're planning to stay in business for the next 5 to 10 years, then invest in the organic marketing now, because that will keep bringing in rewards, from 6 months on. But if you need those quick wins, then invest in paid ads. And probably just a combination of the two is the best way to go if you have the budget and the manpower to manage all of that.
Okay. Nice insight.
Yeah.
Okay. So as a Taiwanese, I know how hard it is for us to kind of leave this small island, kind of go
Mindset.
global, go international. What are some tips that you have for companies, like Taiwanese companies that don't want to stay local? They want to go international.
You mean they want to find customers abroad?
Yeah, what's like the first step that they should take?
Well, I think the first step they should take is spend some time to understand those different audiences abroad, because sometimes there tends to be this feeling like there's only Taiwan, and then there's like outside of Taiwan, there's only two countries. But actually every single country has very specific tastes, cultures, and needs. And I think once a Taiwanese company, I mean, this is the same if it's an Australian company, they're an island, or even in Japan. Once they take the time to really understand those local markets, then they're in a position to actually build a marketing to then sell to them. So then how do you understand local markets? Probably you need to spend some time in that place, or you hire somebody from that country. So Taiwan is very good about hiring foreigners, promoting them to marketing people, and then having the Russian girl sells to Russia, and then the Spanish girl sells to Spain. So this is very good. Companies that cannot hire a lot of foreign talent, I think they can work with us, and we'll do the job for them. We'll find, we're an international team. We've traveled and studied all around the world. I think we have an awareness of all the different markets, especially the Western market. And, we're happy to travel anywhere for our projects. So that's probably the way to go. Yeah.
How about the other way around? Because we have a lot of clients from overseas, from US, from French, from Europe. If they want to enter Taiwan, what's like the best way to do it? How different is it, Taiwanese market and Western
How
market?
can they localize?
I think I need to pass that question on to Jean, who's Taiwanese.
I think it's mostly market research. As you said, it goes both ways. So you have to market research for other countries as well. But if you want to come and localize in Taiwan, you have to do market research here, what people like. And also, I think there's kind of, I'm not sure if I should say this, but there's kind of like a foreigner complex in Taiwan. So foreign stuff can sell for more, and they seem like they're more high quality. And that's probably why a lot of companies, they like to use foreign models, and they like to put English slogans. They like to have English shop names, even though we speak Chinese, we speak Mandarin. So having a company or someone who is bilingual, who can help with both Chinese and English, and make sure that it's not Chinglish, because Chinglish is the worst. And there's a lot of ABCs in Taiwan that can look through your Chinglish. So no Chinglish, do market research, maybe have pretty people, and also understand Taiwan's culture and what they want.
Well, I know for one thing, when I go to a Taiwanese restaurant, even if it's like Chinese food, and they have an English menu, I'll spend more money there because I'll order more stuff. And that's a local restaurant in Taiwan with an English menu. So there's still a value in translating all things to English. And I don't think it's only because they have like the foreign complex. But I think once you have English there, then you're accessible to everyone in Taiwan who doesn't speak Chinese. And, there's tons of foreigners coming and going. And so I think it's always smart to localize for Taiwan and then translate in English. And it doesn't take a lot of work to do it. So it's like low cost, high reward.
Yeah, but make sure it's not Chinglish, please.
No change.
So I have another question, which is, what are the mistakes that companies do when they work with agency? What are the assumptions that they usually make?
I think some of the mistakes clients tend to make, and they don't do this on purpose, but I think it's very important for everyone in the company on the client side to be aligned on what the plan is, what's the project. Sometimes it'll be like a marketing specialist working with us, and we finish the project, and then the marketing specialist shares it to their manager, and the manager has a totally different concept and idea. And it sounds like there's a bit of a disconnect inside of the company on what the deliverable should look like. And so I think it's very important for clients to align with their managers and all the stakeholders. And so everyone has the same expectations. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. And so how do you think clients can find a marketing agency that is fit for them? How should you hire a good agency?
Well, if the client is looking to go abroad and sell their product, to the hundreds of millions of customers in the West, they should definitely look for an agency that has a bilingual team. Find an agency with people who have lived abroad, who understand those local markets, how they shop, how they buy, what inspires them. And then make sure the production quality is good enough for them, because there's certainly different levels of production that are suitable for different kinds of products. If you're going to just look for an agency to help you sell your product in Taiwan, then that's a different kind of agency. Then you just need very good Chinese marketing writers. But definitely figure out the level of production you need. As we were talking to somebody earlier, he was saying that very low budget, like Instagram Reels can actually sell a lot. Whereas sometimes very high polished product videos is what you need to have that premium and that luxury look. And so there needs to be an awareness of what you want to achieve and the positioning of your product. And then you find the agency that can deliver on that. And then go through their portfolio, try to meet their staff and have enough time to talk to each other, and definitely try not to make all your communication by text messages. Try to use phone calls, meetings, face-to-face meetings. And this is very important to get a feel on who you're hiring, because you're hiring a partner. It's not so much a client and vendor, but it's more of like a business partner than anything else when you work with an agency.
Yeah, it's like a team, an extra team to help you.
Yeah, exactly. Or even can become one cohesive team, the agency and the client,
So can you give maybe people who are into marketing, they want to do some marketing, can you give them 3 tips on how to do it, what to look for?
3 tips, how to start marketing. I guess understand your target audience very well. Don't just go on Google and softwares, but actually meet them, make a phone call, talk to them, say, why are you a customer of this product? Then create your customer persona, so the fake person with all the attributes. So that's step 1. Then find out where this customer goes online. So are they mostly on social media, or are they going on Google to solve problems? Then once you find out where they go online, produce a couple of pieces for them to see, to test. If it's working, then you just, don't only 10x it, but I would say 50x it. I got that from Noah Kagan. He says, 50x your production once you know what's working. Scale it up to the moon. Don't be shy. Don't just put a little bit of budget in there. If you're actually selling a lot, then go all in on that and those are kind of like 3 steps.
Great, thanks. So thank you, Michael,
Thank you.
for sharing everything with us today. And if you want to find us, you can find us through Michael, through us at modularagency.io.
Modularagency.io, that's our website,
Yep.
or contact us.
From
Thank-
LinkedIn,
Yep.
it's Michael Walt.
Yeah, we'll put the handle here. Okay.
Put the text somewhere here.
So thank you guys. Bye bye.
See you.